previously on American Ninja Warrior. 300 competitors stepped up to challenge the most demanding qualifying course in American Ninja Warrior history. Most suffered the disappointment of coming up short.
I'll be back next year, Ninja Warrior.
Only the fastest have earned a spot in the semifinals, where they will face an extended course with 3 additional obstacles that are brutally difficult. Today, just finishing the course isn't good enough. It's a race against the clock, as our top 30 will battle it out to make it to the next round. The journey continues right here, right now, on American Ninja Warrior.
Welcome to Venice Beach, California, where we are kicking off the semifinal round of American Ninja Warrior. I'm Matt Iseman alongside Jimmy Smith. Jimmy, a spectacular qualifying round saw 300 athletes line up with dreams of making Ninja Warrior history.
But just the fastest 30 finishers remain. Today's semifinal will cut that number in half. Those 15 will then move on to a boot camp designed to test and train them.
But ultimately, only 10 will travel to Japan, where this year, total victory could come with a national ad campaign and a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000. Jimmy, any predictions on who we will see moving on to boot camp?
Well, Matt, my money's on all-star David Campbell. He's a 2-time Japan veteran, always a monster on the course. But you also want to keep your eye out for newcomers like Tim Sheaf. He's the world freerunning champion, and he has amazing skills. And the man who posted the fastest time in qualifying, Michael Frosty Zernow.
Well, we saw some amazing performances in qualifying, but that was in the past. Today, the slate is wiped clean. The runs we see in the semifinals are the sole factor in determining who will move on to boot camp.
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of shifting on the leaderboard before we find out who those top 15 are.
For more on that, let's go down to our sideline reporter, Alison Haislip.
Matt and Jimmy, this is where you want to be today. This is where our top 15 competitors will be seated. But this chair right here, this is the hot seat. This is the most dangerous seat in the house. It means you have the slowest of the 15 times. And if any competitors who run after you beat your time, you're going home. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Allison. And if that's not enough pressure, this course is about to get a lot tougher.
Way tougher, because they'll face all 6 of the obstacles from qualifying, including the log grip, which has been rotated so fewer handholds are available, and the jumping bars. Now there's 3 bars instead of 4, so they're going to have to jump a lot farther. The first of the new obstacles is the salmon ladder, and it spelled doom for so many hopefuls in last year's semifinals. Athletes will vault from a mini trampoline, grab the bar, and propel upwards, where they'll immediately have to complete the unstable bridge, moving across 2 hanging planks using only grip and upper body strength. From there, it's the long 31-foot climb up the cargo net, hit the buzzer, and all you can do is hope your time holds up.
Jimmy, this course looks brutally difficult.
It certainly is, and it's possible we won't see 15 runners finish. If we don't, it's a matter of who gets the furthest in the fastest amount of time. For example, if a competitor falls on the salmon ladder, the time in which he completed the previous obstacle, the warped wall, will be his official time on the leaderboard.
All right, well, it is time for the first run of the semifinals.
In the starting blocks, the man with the slowest qualifying time in our top 30, Darren Payne.
And he is off, Jimmy.
And the quad step's not a gimme this year, and he flies right over him.
Two-footed technique, not the fast. Oh, my goodness! Down on the log grip, perhaps the easiest obstacle. What happened, Jimmy?
Well, as we mentioned, the log grip was modified for the semifinals. Fewer handholds are available, and that cost Darren Payne.
An inauspicious beginning to our semifinals. Got to make our next competitor a little nervous.
He finished with the 31st fastest time in qualifying last year, just missing out on the semifinals. This time, he's earned his spot in the top 30. It's 24-year-old Victor Rivera. Victor going through the quad steps smoothly, Jimmy. Wants to make the most of this reprieve versus last year.
Well, on to the modified log grip.
And Victor handling the log grip with no trouble at all. Onto the bridge of blades. Wow, looking really good so far, Jimmy.
And now onto the jump hang.
Really, a a very simple mistake for someone with as much skills as Victor Rivera. What happened there, Jimmy?
Well, he did get a strong enough jump off of the trampoline. He just didn't have the height to hold on to the netting.
Well, last year, Victor Rivera dealt with bitter disappointment. I don't think it's going to make that fall any easier to swallow. Up next, the 22-year-old from Colorado, Jake Smith.
Well, he just barely missed making the top 15 2 years ago. He doesn't want to leave anything to chance this time around.
My name's Jake Smith. I'm from Colorado. I'm a telecommunications technician, which means I install computer and telephone cables. I don't think I'm a typical athlete, really, because I only got athletic after senior year of high school. I spent pretty much all of my young life wanting to be an actor. I saw a video online of parkour, and that's pretty much what caught my eye. Athletically, I'm just the guy that can come in and really surprise people with extreme adaptability. $500,000 and representing K-Swiss would change my life greatly. It would be pretty awesome.
Jake Smith off and running, looking very smooth through the quad steps, Jimmy.
Remember, the log grip has been modified so there are fewer handholds available. Doesn't seem to be a problem for Jake, though.
Colorful socks as he prepares to take on the bridge of blades right through and right onto the jump hang.
Jake Smith losing no time on the jump hang at all.
Taking a real aggressive approach, not leaving anything to chance. Smooth descent down the cargo net. He's onto the jumping bars.
Now remember, the jumping bars more difficult today. Just 3 instead of the 4 he saw in qualifying. That means more distance between each, Matt.
Jimmy, he is cruising through these first 5 obstacles. Let's hope he has enough energy left for the 3 meters.
Jake, I think, wisely pulling up to gather himself before attempting the warp wall. Can he make it in 1? And he does.
His time to the warp wall in qualifying, 52.47. Here in the semifinals, Jake's about 3 seconds faster. And now he becomes the first to attempt the dreaded salmon ladder, and he is up.
You know, good jump, but this is all about upper body strength, Matt.
A strong move there. Powerful technique, Jimmy. Going for the second lap. Oh, down! He had the height, but missed with the positioning. Jake Smith out on the salmon ladder.
I think the bar just went a little too far off the ladder. Couldn't get it back on. Jake just overestimating how much momentum he needed to leap up to the next rung.
Jimmy, looks like Jake hit his left eye somewhere on the salmon ladder. He's getting some medical attention before heading over to the leaders platform. You know he's disappointed in not completing the course, but he did better than the 3 guys who followed him. None of them even made it to the salmon ladder, including Matt Marshall, the white ninja who blew through qualifying, only to be stopped at the warp wall here in the semifinals. And Amos Rendell, who barely kept his grip at the jump hang, only to lose it just before completing the jumping bars. Let's take a look at the current standings. Jake Smith is in first place, having made it through the warp wall before going down on the salmon ladder.
Incredibly, Matt, each of the other competitors fell on an obstacle he cruised through in qualifying.
Up next, an American Ninja Warrior legend. He made it to Japan last year, 33-year-old David Campbell.
Well, he has his own course he has built that a lot of the veterans run on. I don't think there's anyone who puts in as many hours as David Campbell.
Here's Campbell through the quad steps. Jimmy, not a lot of success on the extended course yet. Will David open the floodgates for us?
David Campbell is great. He's so incredibly well prepared. We'll have to see if that experience carries him through.
Really slow on the log grip. Looked a little awkward on there, but through the bridge of blades and right into the jumping. A low grab on the netting, though, Jimmy.
Yeah, but he's climbing up so fast, pulling himself over the top. Let's see how his dismount is.
He spends so much time on the ropes, such experience there. Trains his upper body relentlessly as he goes into the jumping bars.
David with the strong leap to the first bar, just as you'd expect. Looking very determined from the outset, Jimmy.
Well, he looks excellent, very composed, minimizing that pendulum effect by keeping those elbows bent. There's nobody better in terms of technique than David Campbell.
Here comes the warp wall. He is familiar with this obstacle, can do it in his sleep. Almost came up short. You don't expect to see that out of a veteran.
No, you don't. David's clearly pacing himself, doesn't want to burn out. He knows he needs every ounce of energy for what lies ahead.
And here comes the salmon ladder. He trains on it all the time, has one at home. This should be a piece of cake for Campbell. But as we're learning today, nothing is assured.
Nothing at all. He spends hours a day doing this exercise. Let's see if it shows.
Campbell looking more fatigued than I would expect as he makes his way up the salmon ladder, but he loves the unstable bridge, feels this is an obstacle where he can gain separation from the other competitors.
And by getting a hand onto the unstable bridge, he's officially completed the salmon ladder. Now, everyone who trains with him tells me that David has what a lot of people...
David Campbell out, and a hard landing on the side of the pool. This has to be one of the biggest surprises of the semifinals, Jimmy.
Unbelievable, Matt. David got further than anyone else in Stage 3 in Japan last year. To see him go down is shocking.
David, are you okay with that fall first? Your leg feeling all right?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
What happened on that unstable bridge?
The reach was a little further than I expected to the bridge. You just should have taken more of a break for the trampoline.
I'm glad you're doing okay. That was a pretty nasty fall, and right now you still take a seat on our top 15.
Thanks.
Back to you guys.
This is unbelievable. A man who trains harder than anybody out on an obstacle he felt was one of his strongest.
And now it's possible that Campbell, a two-time Japan vet, won't even make it to boot camp. Unbelievable. Although he didn't complete the semifinal course, Campbell sits in first place as the only one to successfully get to the top of the salmon ladder. Darren Payne and Louis Mosso on the board, but as early in the course as they went out, not likely to be there very long. We're looking for the top 15 who will move on to boot camp. Coming up, Brent Stephenson just watched fellow Japan vet David Campbell go down. Will he be next? Plus, 36-year-old Travis Rosen. He's looking to show he can compete with the young guns when American Ninja Warrior continues.
Welcome back to American Ninja Warrior. It's still early in the semifinals, but the competition is heating up. And it's no wonder, Jimmy, because these athletes are battling for a shot at Japan. And with it, the chance at a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000. Plus, they can join the ranks of pro athletes with a national ad campaign.
Well, just like any top athletes, these guys have suffered through so much to be here. Injuries, intense training. This prize would give them the recognition that they deserve.
Well, we are cutting a field of 30 down to the worthy 15 who will move on to boot camp. But as expected, this extended course is eating athletes alive.
After two-time Japan veteran David Campbell failed to solve the unstable bridge, the salmon ladder took out 6 more competitors, including Colorado chiropractor Alan Keneally, who cruised through the first 6 obstacles, but was tripped up before he could get a hand on it. And Evan Rocket Dollard, who is chasing his 2nd straight trip to Mount Midoriyama. Even he was unable to overcome this brutal course. With a strong time through the warped wall, Alan Keneally slides into 2nd place behind David Campbell. 14 of 15 spots on the leaderboard are already filled, which means we're likely to see people getting knocked off very soon. With this semifinal course chewing up athlete after athlete, Jimmy, it looks like we're seeing a shift in strategy.
Now, we certainly are. The salmon ladder has failed so many competitors that the ones running now are focusing on the first 6 obstacles. It's now about how fast you can get up the warped wall.
In the starting blocks right now, one of the elder statesmen of the semifinalists, Travis Rosen.
My name is Travis Rosen. I'm 36 years old. I've got 2 kids with a 3rd on the way. I used to be a gymnast. I was an NCAA All-American at the University of Iowa. I think the skills I've got definitely transfer over to Ninja Warrior success. Last season, I got 9th place in prelims, but I grabbed the top of the spider jump and disqualified myself. I'd love to go all the way to Japan this year. I've lived there, so I'd like to go back. I hear my 5-year-old son in my head all the time wanting daddy to win Ninja Warrior, so they're excited for me, very supportive. If I won the K-Swiss endorsement deal, that would be definitely life-changing, 100%.
At 36, he's the oldest semifinalist. Wow, flying right through the quad steps.
Onto the log grip, where the difficulty has been increased from the qualifying round.
Looks like he's got a good handle on it, though. Onto the Bridge of Blades.
Travis was a national champion vaulter at the University of Iowa, and as he's getting ready for the jump hang, he shows his form there. No trouble with the leap, and real strong right over the cargo net on the jump hang, Jimmy.
Oh, looks like his time is good onto the jumping bars. Good jump. Wow, great upper body strength. Really moving through the jumping bars, Matt.
Strong pace to this point. If he can maintain it, as he takes a look at the warped wall, Jimmy.
Taking his time here. Can he afford it? Oh, stop short.
Wow!
Just no push at all on the whip. He needs to shake that off. Quickly, he's got to regroup fast, Matt.
Suddenly, Travis not looking quite so sure of himself. And again, you have to get both feet up on top of the warp wall, the clock ticking. So Travis through the warp wall, but now the salmon ladder looms.
As you can hear, he's getting support from his fellow athletes on the sidelines.
Jimmy, Travis, yet another athlete who looks really winded at this point after the first 6 obstacles. But here he goes and nails the leap.
Yeah, but that's the easy part, Matt. Does he have the stamina, the upper body strength to get to the top? He looks really fatigued.
Stumbles there, a little uneven, but wow, good recovery, Jimmy.
He's fighting through it. He's got to get at least a hand on the unstable bridge to get past the salmon ladder. He's got it.
So he has officially completed the salmon ladder, only the second to make it to the unstable bridge after David Campbell.
Yeah, but he's not done yet, Matt. He's fighting his way across the first bridge.
Travis, one of the older competitors, but it looks like right now the maturity paying off, looking real strong in the unstable bridge, but the transition's so difficult. He had both hands on it, but could not maintain the grip, Jimmy.
Well, there's a reason for the name. That thing wiggles, it moves. Just because you have both hands on it doesn't mean you can stay there.
But he did complete the salmon ladder, which last year was the cutoff point. So Travis could still be in contention as he heads over to fill the last of the seats on the leader's platform. With 15 athletes having attempted this course, that means someone is on the hot seat. And that someone is Louis Mosso. He went out on the log grip, which means if any of the remaining competitors get past that obstacle, it's his turn to go home. Jimmy, this is when the competition gets real.
That's right, and that's when you start regretting that extra time you took on an obstacle, because now it's the time that counts.
Up next, one of the strongest members from Team America last year, Brent Stephenson.
Does he have what it takes to get past what is proving to be the most difficult semifinal course in American Ninja Warrior history?
Stephenson has been training relentlessly. Let's see how that hard work translates on this semifinal course, Jimmy.
And he has amazing focus, never rattled in boot camp, never intimidated by Japan.
And just like that, Brent beats Louis Mosso's time through the quad steps and moves into the top 15.
Now, Brent searching for a grip. He's seen guys go down here, but he's through onto the Bridge of Blades. Should be no problem for him.
Stephenson, a professional trampoline artist, lining up on the jump hang and gets the good bounce there, but struggling a bit to get over the top of the cargo net, Jimmy.
I think he's making up for it now with a good, quick dismount. Now onto the jumping bars.
Stephenson threw 4 of 9 obstacles without a hitch and good leap onto the jumping bars.
Well, he's setting a decent pace to this point. So important in the event. He's unable to complete the course, Matt.
His time through the qualifying course was 55.6. Looks like he's on pace to max that as he faces down the warped wall.
He's up just like a veteran, making it look easy.
Now, he blew me away in boot camp on the salmon ladder. In fact, he did the double salmon ladder. Just phenomenal physical ability. But does fatigue take its toll even for Brent Stephenson today?
Oh, fatigue takes its toll on anybody. It makes cowards of men. Every athlete knows that.
Stephenson keeping his arms up at 90 degrees. Great form. Pausing a little bit, though. He flew up in boot camp. I think the cold weather, the wind, Brent Stephenson misses a rung.
Wow, he's in a little bit of trouble. See that veteran move, putting his weight on the other side? And he makes it to the unstable bridge already.
Very smart move right there, Jimmy. Rather than risk expending more energy on the salmon ladder, make sure to get to the next obstacle and flying through. The transition, though, incredibly difficult.
Well,
especially in this wind, Jimmy.
You see that bridge moving. Can he make it?
This jump, perhaps the most difficult part of this entire course. And every second he hangs, fatigue builds, makes it more difficult. No! It looked like he had successfully made the transition. Brent Stephenson down on the unstable bridge.
He just lost his grip on the transition, but also looked very fatigued. It all adds up to another all-star getting wet.
Few competitors in the history of American Ninja Warrior have shown themselves to be as strong as Brent Stephenson. If he can't complete this course, can anybody? Fatigue, a real factor in this year's semifinals.
Brent, did that angle on the unstable bridge really affect you?
You know, honestly, it wasn't the angle, just lost that finger strength again. When I went for that transition, I thought I had it for a sec, but then just that bridge, It's kind of awkward and thick and heavy. It's tough.
So far, nobody, including veterans of last year's boot camp, even some who went to Japan, have been able to complete this course. Jimmy, can anyone get to the finish line?
Well, I can't answer that question. One thing I do know is that if you're getting ready to run this course, watching veterans fall can't make you feel good about your chances.
So 16 semifinalists have taken on the course. Travis Rosen and Brent Steffensen joined David Campbell as the only ones to make it past the salmon ladder. 8 more of our top 15 have successfully completed the warped wall. They'll find out soon enough if their times are fast enough to stay on the board. Coming up, can Ryan Stratus, one of the most committed Ninja Warrior veterans, become the first to complete this extended course? Or will he become just another casualty? Find out when American Ninja Warrior returns. Welcome back to American Ninja Warrior. I'm Matt Iseman alongside Jimmy Smith. And Jimmy, these semifinalists are fiercely battling it out for a shot at Japan. Hanging in the balance, a national ad campaign, and a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000.
Well, most of these guys are juggling full-time jobs with intensive training. That money could allow one of them to be a full-time athlete. These guys dream of this opportunity.
Well, let's see who wants it the most. 5 more have gone down without anyone completing this treacherous course. 2 more on the salmon ladder and 3 on the unstable bridge, including the masked one, David Young Flip Rodriguez. He's a newcomer from Miami, and he lit up the course before losing his grip while trying to transition to the second bridge. And Japan veteran Paul Casimir posted the fastest time so far through the salmon ladder, but lost his grip at the unstable bridge as well.
Matt, we're seeing more guys make it to the unstable bridge. This tells me that guys are pushing it, and the rest of the field are going to have to make it at least that far, if not finish the course, to keep hopes of boot camp alive.
So Paul Casimir takes over the top spot from David Campbell, and Young Flip Rodriguez moves into 6th place.
But Matt, 21 guys have tried to complete this course. Still not one of them has made it to the finish line. That's unbelievable.
And inevitably, we've had to say goodbye to the slowest of the semifinalists so far. Darren Payne, Victor Rivera, Amos Rendell, Matt Marshall, and Justin Taylor. And shockingly now, the man on the hot seat, a veteran of Japan, it's Evan Dollard.
Now, that cannot feel good to go as far as he went last year and be one competitor away from going home.
Evan successfully completed the warp wall in 1 minute 6 seconds. Will his time hold up?
As intimidating as this semifinal course is, if there's one competitor who I don't think is scared by it, it's got to be this next guy, National Guardsman Ryan Stratus.
My name is Ryan Stratus. I am 28 years old, and I am a full-time safety specialist for the Georgia Army National Guard. I do have a sense of pride knowing that I am one of the only soldiers that comes out here. I think all my military training has helped me keep a cool mind facing these obstacles. I love coming out here. This is my one vacation of the year. I just save up all my leave, all my money, and just like, all right, let's go to LA. I've competed every year in Ninja Warrior competitions. 2 years ago, I got through the preliminary round, but I didn't go fast enough. Last year, I got into the semis, but got to the trampoline jump to the salmon ladder, and my feet just got funky, and I went butt first in the water. This year, I trained with David Campbell, really trying to focus on just body control, and it's actually helped me a lot. And I've been trying for so long to go to Japan, to finally get there, just to be a part of the experience. I would love it.
Well, he's dedicated, he's run marathons, he's in phenomenal shape. We'll see how he does on his run.
Remember, Ryan needs to beat Evan Dollard's time of 1 minute 6 over the warp wall in order to make it onto the leaderboard, and having a little trouble on the quad steps, Jimmy.
But taking his time, it's a veteran move to not get flustered onto the log grip, which has been tough, Matt.
And through the log grip very smoothly with no trouble and staring down the bridge of blades. He really appears to be pushing himself, Jimmy.
Well, he knows he needs to be 1 minute 6 seconds over the warped wall.
And up on the cargo net, as a military man, no stranger to the ropes. Great dismount. Stratus blowing through the course so far, Jimmy.
But we've seen before, Matt, a great run doesn't mean a great finish.
A bigger guy, but as you can see, not a lot of fat on this frame. Into the jumping bars, looking great. What a look of intensity on Stratus's face, Jimmy.
You know, great shape, but he's not huge, not a lot of body weight. I think that's going to help him later. Oh!
It looks like he banged his ankle coming off the dismount on the jumping bars.
Oh, he's in serious pain. You see him grabbing it there.
You gotta wonder, Jimmy, will he be able to put weight on that ankle? Goes up the warp wall. Oh! And he makes it. What heart from Ryan Stratus.
So Stratus is over the warped wall in less than 1 minute 6 seconds. That means we have to say goodbye to Evan Dollard.
Stratus testing the trampoline, seeing if the ankle will hold up.
Remember last year he got an awkward bounce, his knee buckled, and he went down. Doesn't want to make that mistake again.
Stratus worked so hard, built his own salmon ladder, and he is up looking good, Jimmy.
The key is you have to stop your swing very early. He was able to do that. Now he's doing great.
You can see the training really paying off. No problem on the salmon ladder. And looks like here he is going for the unstable bridge. He's touched it, which means he has completed the obstacle onto the unstable bridge. Looking good, the upper body holding up, Jimmy.
You see that second board is tilted badly because of the wind. Will that be a factor? You know his upper body is burning right now.
Now, the unstable bridge not in the semifinals last year. Not everyone's done it. It's really trial by fire for most of these guys today.
You see him trying to build up momentum for the transition, swinging back and forth.
Stratus, the first to make it to the second part of the unstable bridge. All that's left is the dismount and the cargo net. We will have our first completion, Jimmy.
Now, the cargo net is a time killer, but it shouldn't be any problem if he can dismount properly.
Does not want to make the mistake here. The dismount here on a sore ankle. He's, wow, real close.
But even with a bad ankle, he nailed the dismount. Now going up the cargo net, I don't expect him to do it that quickly with a bad ankle, but he, I believe, will be our first person to complete it.
And just gutting it out, a courageous performance, and we expect nothing less out of Ryan Stratus.
An amazing job. Ryan's put his heart and soul into getting a shot at Mount Midoriyama. He's taking a big step with this performance, Matt.
The crowd going nuts. We are about to have our first semifinalist complete this course. A top 12. Ryan Stratus giving us the salute, and he deserves our respect. A time of 3 minutes, 21 seconds. Jimmy, I'm impressed.
I am very impressed. You see the look on his face, determination and pain.
One of the most admired Ninja Warrior competitors, Ryan Stratus. And Jimmy, we just saw why.
We saw dedication and guts, hurt his ankle, dismounting off the jumping bars, but still made it all the way through this course, the first person to do it.
Ryan, congratulations. First one to finish the course today. I obviously have to ask, what happened to your ankle?
I really came off of the last jumping bar. I overshot the pad, and it came down really hard on the unpadded portion. Kind of overshot the landing.
So did you know as soon as you got over that warp wall, you did not have to worry about your ankle anymore?
Yes, I was like, everything's upper body from now on, so just focus on that and go.
What was it like being at the top? What was this emotion that you were feeling?
Well, it's been a long time coming, so it's makes me real happy.
Congratulations, sir. First to finish in our semifinal rounds.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
A really difficult moment as we say goodbye to Evan Dollard.
We've seen a lot of veterans fall. No one can get comfortable on those chairs, man.
So Ryan Stratus skyrockets to the top of the leaderboard. And with just 8 runners remaining, no matter how fast they finish, the top 7 are guaranteed a spot in boot camp. Among those who only made it through the warp wall, Jason Williams had the slowest time. That means he now finds himself on the hot seat. And I'll bet that chair feels like it's on fire, as Jason Williams can only sit and wait for our last 8 runners in their attempt to force him out of the top 15. Coming up, will 5-time Japan veteran Brian Orozco's attempt to crash the top 15 bring him crashing down when American Ninja Warrior returns? Welcome back to American Ninja Warrior. We are deep into the semifinal round. And Jimmy, you know right now the only thing these final competitors are thinking about is crashing that top 15.
And those top 15 then move on to an intensive boot camp where they will compete to see which 10 will represent America in Japan and get a chance at a $500,000 K-Swiss endorsement deal and a national ad campaign.
5 more competitors have made it all the way to the unstable bridge before getting wet, including Jersey boy Chris Wilczewski in his 2nd straight semifinals appearance. And James McGrath, the walk-on from Seattle, who actually slept in a van for a chance to be a part of American Ninja Warrior. Those that only cleared the warp wall are in jeopardy of seeing their boot camp dreams come crashing down. So Chris Wilczewski charges to the second spot overall with a spectacular time, and newcomer James McGrath moves onto the leaderboard in 12th place. With just 3 runners remaining, each of the top 12 have officially now earned a spot in boot camp. On the hot seat right now, a man who must have thought he was safe with his time of 53 seconds to the top of the warp wall, it's Sean Morris.
You know, Sean's all too familiar with that uncomfortable spot. He just missed the top 15 last year.
In the starting blocks right now, the free-running world champion, 23-year-old Timothy Sheaf.
Well, he's never done a salmon ladder before. He's very nervous about it. I think he's going to attack the first 6 obstacles with everything he has.
Tim knows time is of the essence. He has to get through the first 6 obstacles faster than Sean Morris's time of 53:10 if he wants to crack the top 15. Live wire at the starting block, Jimmy. You know he doesn't want to get wet. Looks good through the quad steps. The free-running skills paying off.
The log grip, oh my God.
What a shock! The world free-running champion going out on the second obstacle, Jimmy.
I think he was trying to get a great time over the warped wall and just wasn't having his mind on the obstacle in front of him, and it really cost him, Matt.
You can't let your attention wander for a second on this semifinal course. So the free-running world champ with a very quick exit, and that means Sean Morris can breathe a sigh of relief. Unfortunately for Sean, up next, the man with the most experience in Japan in this competition, it is the legend, Brian Orozco.
Sean probably shouldn't get too comfortable with that seat with Orozco at the starting line.
Orozco always cool under pressure, but seeing so many veterans go down, is it in his head, Jimmy?
No, I don't think so. He focuses on the task at hand, been here before, knows how to be successful.
So smooth through the quad steps, taking his time. Looks like he's having trouble finding a handle on the log grip, Jimmy.
And he's got it now. And he's through, but could that cost him precious seconds?
Wow, no hesitation on the bridge of blades and right into the jump hang, right to the top rung. That is experience, Jimmy.
It is, and he's going in with a lot of momentum.
Brian really looking strong, catching his breath here, and onto the jumping bars.
Sean Morris has to be nervous, Matt, but Brian Orozco really needs to step it up if he wants to move into that top 15.
Really looking good, though, clearing the jumping bars with no problem, Jimmy.
And he's onto the warped wall. Should be a walk in the park. He's up, and Brian Orozco up in under 53 seconds, so Sean Morris is going home.
Brian's time good enough to bump off Sean Morris, but it's only gotten him into 15th place with 1 runner still to go. He is still in danger, has to complete the salmon ladder in order to guarantee a spot in boot camp.
Orozco really taking his time, doesn't want to leave anything to chance. He's the most experienced veteran of Japan in this competition. He wants to take another step toward a 6th trip. Sizing up the trampoline, beautiful leap onto the salmon ladder.
Along with Campbell, some of the best technique on the salmon ladder, but Jimmy, he is looking totally fatigued.
And really taking his time. Wow, now going up with a lot of momentum, almost all the way to the top.
It looks like he heard me, wants to prove me wrong. If he touches the unstable bridge, he completes the obstacle. Now this is, oh, and he goes up another rung just to make sure. This is as far as he got last year, Jimmy.
Check out the focus. Orozco is fighting exhaustion at this point. He wants to land his transition, and he got it.
He is across, looking fatigued, but moving. That is a veteran digging deep, Jimmy.
Now, look at that second board. It is a killer. It is just swaying in the wind.
So much experience. Can he make this transition? Palms up short. Looks like he ran out of energy. Didn't quite have the distance on the jump. This semifinal course claims another veteran, the most experienced one, Jimmy.
Wow, Brian Orozco does not complete the course. He did get past the salmon ladder
and takes over 10th place on the leaderboard. That's enough to guarantee him a spot in boot camp for the 2nd year in a row.
Brian, like I asked you before, the wind in that unstable bridge, it was really off when you got to it. Do you think that's what went wrong?
I knew when I got up there on the first board that my grip was waning. I didn't think I had enough time to really get a full swing.
Do you think this is the hardest American Ninja Warrior course you've been a part of?
That thing is a bastard.
That combination?
Yes. The salmon ladder to unstable bridge is pretty brutal.
Well, with that, we say goodbye to Sean Morris. That means everybody on the leaderboard is safe with one runner left. Everybody except for one.
We are at a crucial point in the competition, and the stakes have never been higher. Out of the hundreds who ran the qualifying course, we're about to find out which 15 will advance to boot camp, with hopes of conquering Mount Midoriyama and winning a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000.
As you can see, Ryan Stratus is still holding down the top spot. With just one runner remaining, Stratus and the rest of the top 14 names here have each secured a spot in boot camp.
Has to be a lonely feeling for Jake Smith, who's on the hot seat.
And we are coming to the end of this semifinal competition. In the starting blocks right now, it is the final runner of the semifinals, a man who blew us away in qualifying, 24-year-old Michael Frosty Zernau.
Jake Smith can only hold his breath and hope he survives.
As Frosty gets ready, let's remember he completed the qualifying course in 44 seconds.
Well, he can assure himself a spot in boot camp by getting up the warped wall in under 49 today.
But that is no small feat. 49 seconds is a very fast time. If he doesn't make it, he must get past the salmon ladder in order to move on to boot camp. And looking good so far onto the bridge. A little stall there, almost goes on after the bridge of blades. Running with reckless abandon, but the clock continuing to tick. And he's getting up over the cargo net here. He's tangled up in the net now, Jimmy. Jimmy, Frosty is in jeopardy. He really needs to hurry.
Frosty's run here in the semifinals hasn't been nearly as smooth as it was in qualifying, Matt.
Jimmy, the clock is ticking, and right now it's clear Frosty will not beat Jake's time of 49.19 up the warp wall. In order to advance, he must get up the salmon ladder.
Right now, he needs to conserve his energy, save everything he has for the salmon ladder. That's his only hope of making it.
And right up the warp wall, but again, the time not fast enough to get him into boot camp. He must get up the salmon ladder, and this is his first time in American Ninja Warrior. He does not have any experience with this obstacle. Jimmy, an incredible turn of events. Our fastest qualifier, not fast enough through the first 6 obstacles. Will he even crack the top 15?
Does he have the upper body strength for the salmon ladder? It's failed so many already.
We see it again, the crowd going nuts supporting Frosty. Frosty wisely taking his time, regrouping. At this point, the time doesn't matter. Either he makes it up or he goes home. But he wants the crowd support. Frosty adding style points, getting the crowd behind him, and he's ready to give it a shot.
The problem is the salmon ladder requires a lot more than style, Matt.
Well, at this point, hanging down low, gets up the first rung, has to go up at least 2 more, possibly 3, up another one. Does he have more in reserve, Jimmy?
Jake Smith watching nervously. His shot at boot camp is slipping away right before his eyes.
At this point, if he touches the unstable bridge, he advances and Jake Smith goes home. He's going to make an attempt. And he
got it.
He does it. Wow, all he had to do was touch the unstable bridge. He did that. He completed the salmon ladder. It wasn't pretty, but he goes on to boot camp, and with that, Jake Smith unbelievably goes home.
Wow, an amazing run. He did the right thing. He took his time, completed the salmon ladder, and he's going on to boot camp.
Frosty leaving it dramatic right up to the end, really getting the crowd into it. What was going through your head during that entire run?
You know, all these people came out here, want to see some cool ninja stuff. I thought I would give them what they came for, right?
Obviously, the crowd is into it right now.
You want a show, right? You want a show?
We got. It's all right. Congratulations on completing the salmon ladder. You have made it to boot camp. So congratulations. Last to run this course. Thanks for giving us a good ending.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
Back to you guys.
After an unbelievably dramatic semifinal competition, the story of the day has to be the one man who made it to the finish line, and that is Ryan Stratus.
Well, he's been with Ninja Warrior from the beginning. That perseverance and dedication really paid off today, Matt.
Well, Ryan will lead 14 other athletes into boot camp, and here they are. There's Ryan Stratus sitting atop our final leaderboard. He's joined by 5 Japan veterans: Paul Casimir, David Campbell, Brent Stephenson, Travis Furlanick, and Brian Orozco.
Matt, you can't help but notice that 2/3 of the guys moving on to boot camp are newcomers. It's great to have so much new talent, and I can't wait to see how they stack up against the veterans.
Jimmy, what do these athletes have to focus on in boot camp?
Well, I would say conditioning. Fatigue was a huge factor today. We saw some great athletes get most of the way through and run out of gas. That does not fly on Mount Midoriyama.
Well, if there's one place you can work on your stamina, it's at American Ninja Warrior Boot Camp. Now, these 15 fierce competitors will leave the breezy coastline of Venice Beach behind for the remote and unforgiving mountains of California, where they will endure a daily struggle for survival at the American Ninja Warrior Boot Camp.
I almost vomited. Welcome to boot camp.
Here, each will battle it out. Team versus team, man versus man. For the honor and the opportunity to test his resolve against the biggest, most menacing obstacle course known to man, Mount Midoriyama. Ultimately, only the 10 strongest and most agile will earn a trip to Japan. A shot at being featured in a national ad campaign and a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000. Who will push his body and mind beyond the limits of endurance? Who will make the final 10? Who will represent America in the land of the rising sun? It's all coming up next time on American Ninja Warrior.